what's up you guys? For those of you that don't already know, my name is Gianna. Welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna be eating again today. I'm having like a super lazy day. This is my natural hair. I literally just put the buns up because I was like dissatisfied with how it was looking all down. So if it looks kind of crazy. This was originally gonna be like sushi, because I went to the store and bought 2 things of sushi, but then my stepdad brought me Dairy Queen, and I went and also bought myself this. I don't know how to pronounce it, but you can buy it at the store. It's really good. This is melon flavor. I used to buy the lychee, or lychee, however you want to say it. I used to buy lychee flavor, but they don't carry it at the grocery store that I go to anymore. So, it's really sad. I'm gonna set that there. Throw it away later. This is about to make me flinch so bad. My PTSD. Come on, just fucking... Trying to do this with nails is also not very fun. I hope this doesn't like explode. I've never had a problem with it. Oh yeah, so you open this with this little plastic thing and you push the marble in. I don't know. I feel like most people have seen these. That wasn't too bad. Oh, it's bubbling. Okay. Oh, this is like so good. I love these. I'm just gonna go ahead and start on this. We'll see how far we get, and then I'll decide if I'm gonna eat the sushi in this video or not. I'm gonna put it over here though because my heating blanket is on and I don't want to heat up the sushi. That'd be so disgusting. Oof, smells good. This came with ranch, which I'm fine with ranch. I didn't start liking ranch until just recently again, because for a while I hated it. It was disgusting. I think this is probably good ranch. There's bread in here. So the entire reason I was in the mood to make this video is because I've been going through a lot lately, and I feel like part of it is just like being back at home and like being out of a relationship and like transitioning from like being with someone all the time and every day to like being alone. I don't know how to explain this, but a lot of the time I feel very alone. I grew up very alone. I have 2 siblings that I grew up with, but at the same time, my older sister is 7 years older than me, so we weren't very close. My younger sister is almost 2 years younger than I am. It's 1 year and 10 months. So we were a lot closer growing up, but once we got to a certain age, she lived with my dad and I lived with my mom because my parents have been divorced. My mom worked a lot, so a lot of the time it was just me, and I don't even know where this video is gonna go. We'll see. But I've been feeling very alone lately, so my mental health hasn't been 100%, and I wish that I could like explain a lot of it and just like say all of it, but I just feel like I'm not ready to, and I also don't want this to be a very triggering video for anybody. And yeah, so this is where it's gonna get like, I hope it's like more lighthearted than emotional if anything, but this isn't something that I've talked about very much with too many people. I've talked about it with like a lot of my closer friends and family, but I never really like came out of the closet. This is me coming out. It's really weird. I guess I decided that I wanted to do this way, like publicly. My hair's shedding. I guess I wanted to like do this and come out publicly on a video. It's kind of silly that I'm eating in the same video, but I don't care. I feel like a lot of the reason that because I don't feel like I was ever scared, especially because I grew up in like a very open-minded household. I didn't grow up with my dad, or did I say that weird? I didn't grow up with my dad at all, really, so, and he's the one who's closed-minded, so I feel like if anything, that just made it easier for me to like be who I am, which kind of sucks, and that sounds really sad, but my mom is very open-minded and she's very loving, and she's one of those people that loves people no matter what, so I don't feel like it was ever anything that I had to do. It wasn't something that I had to come out and like tell people for them to know. And it wasn't something that I felt needed to be like paraded or, how do you say that? Just like talked about all the time. Because it's just a part of who I am. It's not my entire being. Like, that's not something that's not all of who I am, you know? And I don't know, I guess I've always grown up pansexual, because even from when I was a kid, which I feel like people are always wanting to say that people aren't born gay, which I guess is whatever. I'm not gonna speak on that because everyone's different, but I feel like if I was gonna say whether people were or weren't, I would say that you are, and like people always know that they are. Like, there's always a point in life where you realize it, or it's just always been there. I feel like I grew up loving people regardless of like gender or anything really, so it's like it's just always been like that. And like I've always been attracted to girls, especially, and I don't know why, I've just never thought that that was weird or like not normal, which is why I've like not had a problem with like being like, oh yeah, like if people ask me. My parents are still awake and they're being so loud. Okay, so if this video is gonna get emotional at all, I feel like this is where it's going to get emotional. I am going to say right now that I identify as pansexual and polyamorous. If you don't know what either one of those are, you can look it up because I don't really feel like explaining it. If this was like any other time or any other kind of video, I would say, like, I would explain the entire thing and make it easier for you guys, but I'm just gonna give like a small gist of it. Pans is like being attracted to people regardless of what they identify as, and poly is loving more than one person. So like having multiple partners, not necessarily like sexual or even romantic. It's weird to explain. So, like I said before, this isn't something that I've necessarily had a hard time with ever in my life. Up until just recently. And it really sucks just because I've felt really, really down about it. And the reason is just the fact that, like, and like I've mentioned this before, I was in like a pretty serious relationship. It was one that I put a lot of effort into. Obviously, I moved 2 hours away from my home where all of my close friends and family are. And it was for someone that I thought that like loved and supported me unconditionally. It was someone that I would do anything for, and I fully like loved and supported unconditionally. And it got to the point where like I just finally realized that that's not how it was. And I'm not gonna say that they didn't love me or whatever, because that's not even fair to say, but like I said, I've always been open to like having multiple partners. I think that that's a healthy thing. At least for me it is. I am a very loving person. I don't have a problem with monogamy though. I enjoy monogamous relationships. But my last partner was someone that I had talked very openly to and about polyamorism. And it wasn't until like the last few months of us being together that, or maybe it was even like the last month or so, that I finally was like, oh yeah, like this has a name and this has a label. That's when it was weird, which was so frustrating for me to realize, because it was something that we had talked about so openly beforehand. And like as we got deeper into the relationship, I realized finally like that that's not something that they wanted to be in. And it was something that they had a problem with. And not only just that, it was just like my sexuality in general. Like I said, I never really came out before. And this person was obviously someone that I loved and trusted and thought that loved and trusted me and supported me unconditionally. And so that was the first person that I came out to. And I was happy finally. Like, I don't know how to explain that. It's like you just get to say who you are and be like, oh, I finally realized this about myself. Here it is, like I'm being honest with you. I'm telling you, it's like I don't know how to explain that, because like I said, it's not something that was like a big deal before, but I finally like came out and said it, and it did make a difference. Because I feel like it doesn't matter who in my life I tell, like I surround myself with a lot of very loving and supportive people, and I do have a very like, if you don't need me, I don't need you attitude. So it's like anyone who's not supportive and anyone who doesn't care to like care about what I do isn't somebody that I need around anyway. It's the same with like me stripping. Like if anybody wants to have their opinions on it, that's fine, but like anybody who's gonna be unsupportive and negative about it isn't necessarily somebody that I would want around, especially just because there's a lot of people that experience it firsthand, and they know that I have a certain amount of professionalism, and I don't think it really has anything to do with like who I am as a person. It's definitely something that has helped me a lot, though. It's something that's helped me grow as a person, and there's a lot of people that see that, and there's a lot of people that are happy that that's the way it is. And so when it came to, like, I've barely been eating, because I finally realized I've been talking a lot. I feel like the chewing sound and like the smacking of the food sound is probably so gross to some people, but I mean, don't watch a food eating video. So, like I said, finally, like, being open with something that I didn't feel like needed to be discussed in the first place was actually, like, super, I don't know, it just felt super relieving. Like, I felt relieved that that was, like, out in the open. This is part of who I am. You can accept it or not. It's really up to you. But like I said, it was very frustrating to go from, like, where I was at to, like, where I am now. Because, like I said, this was somebody that I trusted completely. Somebody that I thought loved me unconditionally. And when we talked about these kinds of things, I was like, you say you love me unconditionally, but it's unconditionally with conditions, which doesn't make any sense. Oh, my mom's texting me. But at the same time, I feel like me coming out and, like, saying this stuff is a lot of what started problems and a lot of why we ended up breaking up, and it just is kind of disappointing that, like, I don't know, I feel like the one person that was supposed to, like I said, was supposed to be that person wasn't. I don't know how to explain that. I'm wearing pajama shorts, but I have to get up really quick. I had to blow out the candle in my room. So my mom texted me and said it was really strong. Okay, back to this. I just feel very frustrated because I feel like at this point I've given up on, like, a lot of things. Like, I feel like it's kind of pointless to try to start any relations with anybody, just because, like I said, when you're in that deep with somebody and then all of a sudden they decide that they don't agree with who you are, it's really disappointing. I feel like I'm gonna cry now, and I didn't think I was going to. It's really disappointing to be with somebody that you think is, like, very supportive and loving, and then have them, like, switch around when you finally decide to be happy. Fuck. I didn't think I was gonna get, like, this emotional. But, and it's just frustrating. I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't have had I wouldn't have had this problem if I would have like come out when I was younger, because then anyone that was like, oh, I don't agree with that, would have been, just tear on my finger, would have not been attracted to me and like not tried to have relations with me. I feel like this just makes it easier probably to just weed out all of the people that don't want to be with me. But I feel like the one thing that I'm very disappointed in, and like the biggest letdown at the end of the day, is just the fact that like there isn't people out there that are as loving as I am, and that's what's really like disappointing and frustrating. Like I have so much love for people that like I love people regardless of who they are and like what they identify as, and then I am like willing to try being in like a polyamorous relationship because I have so much love to give from like who I am as a person and like in my heart. Like that's a lot of why growing up, like my number one thing is like I've always wanted to be a mom. That's like my dream. I never like imagined like what I wanted to be when I grew up as like being a doctor or anything. Like what I wanted to be when I grew up was being a mom, is because I have like so much love to give. Like I have a lot of love and affection, and like I would like to be able to like love people. And the thing is, like, I fall in love with people every day. Like I fall in love with the little things. I love the way certain people do certain things, but at this point it's very hard for me to like love people that aren't loving. Does that make any sense? This video is so long, it's probably gonna end soon. Especially because I actually got emotional and cried, and I didn't think I was going to, and now I'm kind of sad. Just imagine being someone, or just imagine being the other person. Like I can't picture there being people out there that don't want to love me for me. Especially because I know that, like, in my heart, I am a good person. And like I said, I have a lot of love to give. I can't imagine anyone being like, oh, I don't agree with that. I feel like the lighting just got, like, really crazy all of a sudden. Is it just me? My hair's so crazy. Okay. What?
Did you blow that candle out yet?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay, thank you. It's really strong.
I'm not gonna edit that out. I don't have the motivation to. Plus, I don't know how. I'm filming on my phone. I'm gonna leave. Peace.